I'm hoping that by taking this tag, I'm going to confront my slightly unhealthy book buying habits. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I am taking the book buying tag. This tag was created by Megan Olivier and it's kind of a way of looking at your book buying habits, looking at how you accumulate books and figuring out if there's something that you kind of need to change. So straight into question 1, where do you buy your books? That can kind of change depending on where I am. When I'm in Ireland, most, if not all of my books are bought from Eason's, which is one of our biggest book chains in Ireland. If I'm in the UK, it's quite a lot of the time from Waterstones or maybe WH Smith. Here in Germany, a lot of the books that I would buy will come from the Mayasche, which is also a big German book chain, and they recently collaborated with Italia, which is also another book chain in Germany, so there would be quite a lot of the places I would get books. I do also buy quite a lot of books online, mainly from the Book Depository and also from a lot of books that I would buy from my Kindle will come from there. Question 2 is, do you ever pre-order books? And if so, where do you pre-order from? A lot of the books that I would pre-order, if I am pre-ordering a book at all, I would do that online. A lot of books that I pre-order, I would buy the Kindle version of, and then it just directly comes onto my Kindle on the day that the book is released. It just turns up right at my door. Question 3 is, on average, how many books do you buy in a month? Right now, I think the average is about 10 to 15, and a lot of those would be ebooks. I don't tend to buy quite a lot of physical books at the moment. I think it's just because I'm trying to reduce my physical TBR rather than build it back up. But a lot of the books that I would buy are ebooks, and a lot of them would be about 10 to 15 books per month. Question 4, do you use your local library? I use my library back in Ireland, but I use it through an app called BorrowBox, where you can find ebooks and also audiobooks to kind of get you reading again. Here in Germany, the library that I'm a part of doesn't have such an app as far as I'm aware, but you can get physical books from there. The only issue is that at the moment, things are starting to open up again, and I don't think that the library has reopened quite enough yet. So I don't know if I can go and borrow books from the library in Germany just yet. However, I have been borrowing them from my library in Ireland completely through the lockdown. Question 5 is, if so, how many books can you take out at a time? I don't know how many you can take out in Germany because as soon as I got my card, the library shut down. So I have never actually taken a book out from the library in Germany. I do know on the BorrowBox app, which my library in Ireland is a part of, you can take out up to 5 ebooks and 5 audiobooks at a time. And you can also reserve them, so you can have up to 5 books of either ebooks or audiobooks ready. I think if you're getting physical books in my library in Ireland, I think it's 3 at a time. What is your opinion on library books? I absolutely adore the library. I am a huge advocate for using libraries. I think that using your library is a great way to discover what books are for you, what books aren't for you, what you like to read and what you don't. And you don't have to commit to it. You don't have to pay money for it. You can give the book back if you don't like it. If you do like it, you can go out and buy your own copy of it. But it's such a great way to figure out what you like reading without any kind of commitment. Question number 7 is, what do you think of charity shops and secondhand bookshops? I absolutely adore them. There are very few of them here in Germany, so I do miss them quite a lot, but I absolutely loved them back in Ireland. And quite a lot of the books that I would have gotten when I was back in Ireland or in the UK had come from charity shops and secondhand bookshops. Something that Germany does have is like an open air library where something that used to be a phone booth or anything like that is just turned into a library section, where you can go and drop off any books that you have finished and you're not reading anymore, and you can also browse through what they have and take a look at what they've got and maybe take something home with you. I bring books to them a lot more than I would take books out, but it is such a fantastic concept and I really love the idea of it. Question 8 is, do you keep your read books and your to be read books in the same section? Behind me here is an entire section of all of the books that I have got and that I haven't read yet. And over on the opposite side of my room is all of the books that I own and that I have read and that I think I would like to keep. I'll probably read again, I'll go back to time and time again. I like to kind of separate them a little bit in that I know I've already read these or I could go back to them, but these are going to be completely new and I've never read them before. Question 9, do you plan to read all the books that you own? Someday I would really love to. But I'm also aware that I own quite a lot of books, not just physical books, but also ebooks. I own about 400 books on my Kindle that I haven't read yet. And there's about 80 or so in the shelves behind me that I haven't gotten to yet. I'm being realistic that unless I give up my job and move to a completely isolated place with no internet, no people, nothing, it's not realistic that I'm going to get through every book that I have, but I would like to one day get to TBR 0. I just know it's not going to be super realistic. Question 10 is, what do you do with all the books that you own that you didn't really enjoy or that you don't think you're going to read? I donate these books. I will either donate them to a secondhand charity shop, or I will bring them to one of the street libraries that I have told you about. And I actually discovered that there is a street library really close down the road to where I live, and I think that that's where all of my books from my future unhauls are going to go. Question 11 is, have you ever donated books? Yes. Here in Germany, a lot of the books that I would donate and give away are given away to the free local libraries and the free street libraries that you have around here. But the last time I was back in Ireland, I went through all of the shelves and I went through every book that I had and thought, I'm never going to read this again. I really love this book and I want to keep it. I don't think I'm ever going to read this, ever. The ones that I never wanted to read and the ones that I wouldn't read again, I put them all into a couple of bags and I brought them to Vibes and Scribe, which is a bookshop in Cork that takes in second-hand books and sells them on. And they also give you either store credit or a cash value for the books. And then whatever they didn't take, I also brought those to the Irish Cancer Society shop, also in the middle of Cork City. And I just thought, I'm not going to read these books. I have no interest in picking them back up, but somebody out there is really going to enjoy them. Why would I keep them away from these people? Question number 12 is, have you ever been on a book buying ban? And I have put myself on buying bans about 3 times, and they never really seem to go as I want them to. I always kind of stick to them for the first month to 6 weeks, and then after that my resolve just completely leaves me, and somehow I start buying more books, especially ebooks, because I'm always thinking, oh, it's just 99p. Oh, it's just a 99-cent book deal. But they add up so quickly, and you don't realize how quickly they add up until you're looking back over your order and you've spent about a tenner on books. Question number 13 is, do you ever feel that you buy too many books? And I absolutely have felt that in the past, especially in the ebook section. There's days that I would go on to Amazon and say, oh, this is in a 99-cent order and I really wanted to buy it. This is on an offer and I really wanted to read it for such a long time. But like I said, all of those 99p books, they add up so quickly and you don't notice them adding up until you get to the end of the month and you figure out that you've spent over €16 on 99p books. It's something that I definitely need to tackle in the future, and it's something that I definitely need to keep an eye on in the future. Those are my thoughts on how I buy books, if I'm kind of being a little bit problematic with my book buying, and how I could kind of rein it in a little bit. What are your thoughts on buying books? Do you go to your library? Do you get secondhand books? How do you get your books? Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.